Drive in the park. Let me just hold this steady as best that I can. I hung out all day today in this park. Didn't do much, but because I have Wi-Fi, I could do a little bit more than I usually do, which is pretty nice. Hanging out at a park, I usually don't expect to get Wi-Fi. This is an exception. It's also a sign that this is a bigger city I'm in. Something Rapids, Little Rapids, or Big Rapids, or something. But I did a lot of legal type work today. I tried to get some cross-examination questions written out. I mean, I didn't write them out. It's ChatGPT who writes that stuff out, but at least I arranged it to the point where ChatGPT would do it for me, at least. Examining potential questions, getting ready for that. Assuming I can even get to my trial. I mean, I just need a setback because I'm still in Michigan, so it's kind of hard to get to Louisiana when I'm in Michigan, especially when I don't have a great car and all the outside influences that are a problem, like the strike at the ports and potential threats of the thunderstorms or the hurricanes, the threats of the hurricanes. I mean, who would be crazy enough to barrel down to the south when there's threats of hurricanes and the aftermath and then the pre-threats? You know, it's like, it's not just a problem with the hurricane hitting. There's also the warnings and the preparation in advance, and then the aftermath. So, and that, you know, a lot of people, a lot of things are affected in all kinds of ways. And then apparently FEMA can't even pay for it anyways. So yeah, the aftermath sounds like it'll be long lasting. So it can hit Louisiana. Somebody said that since it's not in the forecast, oh, it must not be coming. Like a hurricane is a part of the regular forecast. That's crazy talk. That's just not believable to me. A hurricane makes its own forecast. It has its own way of operating, not by daily weather patterns. Exactly. It's like a cumulative, it's a totality of the circumstances, which judges love to say a lot. Judge Ousley in particular loves to talk about totality of circumstances and how all that, everything on earth affects the situation in some way. You can find a correlation with it all. But yeah, I'm really thankful that I got Wi-Fi here at this park. I got here when it was dark, and I plan to leave when it's dark. Just go find somewhere safe to park for the night. Let's see. Oh, I see Robot Nielsen, the first comment. Yeah, I've been pretty lazy today. I cooked. I made some popcorn, and I'm starting new habits. I cooked eggs with flour. I got this. I've used this only twice now, but I'm starting to whisk eggs and flour together, and then just cooking that on the pan. Just eggs and flour, and it's kind of like a pancake, very bland. I don't add anything else, and I find it very, very easy to eat, but it doesn't feel like like alluring enough to to eat it ravenously. Like I can't get enough. I'm not addicted to it. It's something nice to chew on, like popcorn. Eggs and flour and popcorn are something pretty nice to chew on that seem like it's fair for the diet. Oh man. Okay, you have Egg McMuffins. See, those are very addictive, and I avoid those. The fat's addictive, the salt's addictive, the sugar's addictive. I wouldn't mess with that. I'm able to cook. I mean, I found 4 propane tanks in the woods in the UP of Michigan. And I guess that video is still on its way. I try to upload every day if I can. So I found 4 tanks. It looked like it was near a hunting shelter, but that hunting shelter looked abandoned. In fact, this one's cleaned off. I show one that's super rusty. I already got through that one. But the ends are very rusty. Yeah, maybe. Hey, I got like 6 containers now because I found those 4. But I found those 4 like a month ago now. Yeah, look at that. Really rusty. I mean, this isn't as bad as the one of them I found at the Pioneer Park in Michigan. That thing was rusty all around and a little bulgy. But I still used it. It was completely full. I used it all. Got 20 cookings out of that thing. So, and that saved me what, $10, $15? It's like, what is it, between $10 and $15 a bottle. And people are leaving them in the woods. You just gotta look. You gotta get out there and look in the weird spots people don't expect you to look. and it's kind of what the pattern of my mobility is just going to weird spots. There's a video talking about ephedra. Yeah, I don't find ephedra in Michigan. That's only the deserts of the Southwest. That's that special desert plant. I don't know if I'll ever get back there. I'll try. But yeah, ephedra was interesting. What would I do with ephedra? See, I already crushed it up and I boiled it. I did everything that I expected I would want to do with it. I wasn't too happy about the taste. I guess maybe adding some honey to it might do something, but yeah, it's got an effect. It's got a mild effect that seems to kind of, I would say, hallucinogenic. A mild hallucinogen, something like that. So yeah, I just not really finding that kind of stuff. I'm not really finding. All right. Yeah. I figured they'd be a little observant of my car. I had some old guy try to offer me $20, and I was like, nope, no thank you. I don't need that. I'm not taking money from strangers just because they see I live like this. Who needs money? I try to keep everything to a bare minimum. Keep my resources to a bare minimum. Keep my money to a bare minimum. Just keep with the whole bare minimum theme. I might have stayed out here still if there was no Wi-Fi, because I could do a lot still offline, but really getting online helped. Oh yeah, let's see. Yeah, I don't know what's good to forage. I mean, I'm not really finding anything. I've just got a little shovel in case I could dig up stuff. Let's see here. Let's see if I can pull out that shovel. Oh yeah. Yeah, I got this little shovel here, and it's really tiny. See, it's just like this. And I did dig up some. It's not a Ephedra. Echinacea. But I really haven't. I dug up the root of Echinacea, but I haven't really eaten it or anything. I've just been holding on to it. The flower doesn't even have the taste I'm looking for. It's supposed to make the tongue tingle. If it's strong. I should toss this out, actually. I'm sure it's Echinacea, but it's just like a weak kind of Echinacea. But I got my little shovel in case there's any roots to dig up, or I'm starting a new game of burying my trash if I'm out really in the wilderness, out in the far reaches of the country. Oops. There is a little bit of a tingle, actually. It takes a couple of minutes. Okay, I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep this root. There's a little bit of a tingle. Echinacea, in case I get sick, I'm gonna turn to this. There's a little aftertaste, and it reminds me. The strongest Echinacea I've ever had was in the Badlands. Echinacea does best out in like the North Desert part, like in North Dakota. Does really good out there. The flower is really, the Badlands, wherever the Badlands are, Montana or somewhere around there. I don't think it does so great. I've seen it quite a few places in Michigan though. I think in the natural state. But yeah, I'm feeling a slight tingle. I could probably chew more and get more and draw more of that tingle taste out. That's actually pretty good. But yeah, I'll do that. I'll dig up anything that looks useful. Maybe a ginseng root. I doubt I'll find ginseng. But I'm also burying my trash in the deep woods if I'm far enough out. You know, people throw trash away. I don't. Now that I got a shovel, I won't throw my trash out. I'll bury it. You know, no one will see it. No one will find it. Just, you know, like a little peanut container or something. I'll just bury it. It's good exercise. Make a little game out of it. And no one will find it. And no one will care, especially with it buried in the woods somewhere. And I learned a little bit about the soil while burying my trash. The soil looks sandy in Michigan, more sandy than Wisconsin. Let's see. Yeah, my clutch. Yeah, my clutch is okay. My clutch, I'm just going really easy on it. I'm trying to be extremely careful with my clutch. But I mean, I had that scare. Something acted really strange. It slipped a little bit for a little while, but then it just kind of corrected. And ChatGPT insists it's a bushing. It's not really slipping so much. Sometimes it feels like the motor gets out of timing and it skips, it seems. But then I just ease back on the gas and then push back on the gas, and then it seems like it can balance itself out. Just not push it when it feels like it winds out of place in weird ways. Yeah, the Ephedra stuff, I mean, that's a Southwest desert plant. But apparently Ephedra is more of a Chinese thing. and the American version's not supposed to be as strong. But I mean, you should be able to boil ephedra and get the ephedrine out of it, but also the other properties of ephedra as well. And then you'll have a tea, and it's similar to the coca plant too. I mean, you just boil coca leaves and have a tea, and you'll get somewhat similar effects. It's much better than getting the extract, in my opinion. I don't take any extracts, no drugs, nothing like that. Just keep it as whole foodsy as possible. In fact, I can't say there's anything I have that's not whole foods. That's chemically extracted, at least. I'd say my flour, so I keep flour in my peanut container when I mix it with the eggs. The flour tends to lose its bran. And this is supposed to be whole wheat flour, but I still think it loses some bran. It might even lose some germ. These manufacturing companies like to separate wheat, the germ, bran, and whatever the other one is. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend ephedra for diet. I don't think ephedra does anything for digestion. Yeah, the Badlands of the North. I don't know. I think you could just look up Badlands, wherever Teddy Roosevelt went. They got petrified trees that you can go out and take a look at for free. You don't have to pay. It's kind of neat. There's some place in Washington you got to pay to look at their petrified wood. But in the Badlands, you kind of have to be sneaky about it. But you can get down in and to one area and really get a good close look at them petrified trees. They might not be as cool as the Washington ones. Washington has bigger trees. So, yeah, eating grass? Well, I haven't in a while. Yeah, it's not something I'm really finding in the immediate areas when I want to boil stuff up. That's an option. The grasslands of Central America seem more appealing for grass type of for grass tea. I'm getting in the more woodsy areas now, and grass is kind of seems to be struggling a little bit more. And they seem to spray against mosquitoes a lot more along the Lake Michigan area. And I'm very hesitant about consuming grass because of that. It really is bothersome. I just gotta say, these deer, oh, they can't even be seen. If I open up my door, they're gonna run. All right, I guess I really can't show them. There's deer over there. So yeah, I haven't been doing grass as much, and I'm not really foraging for anything. I got this shovel because I really want to be foraging for I want to forage for cattail roots more. I love cattail roots. Cattail roots raw are fine. They're a chalky, nice substance to chew on, and I've been having difficulty with getting cattail roots. You just don't pull them out of the ground, they tend to break. So having a shovel, when I get to places that have cattails in very easier to reach spots, and I can bring my shovel out, then I'll dig them up. I'll try to do that at least. That's the plan. But yeah, I'm not really foraging for anything. I haven't seen some of my favorites in Wisconsin have been like wild lettuce and catnip. I like grabbing those. I mean, I am totally dependent upon slippery elm, but that's not for consumption. That's just for skin, just to improve the skin condition. I haven't found a whole lot of wild grapes. I did eat a couple in Michigan, but yeah, there's a difference in vegetation between Michigan and Wisconsin. You get to the east part of Wisconsin, you got the thicker woods, and that's the same for Michigan. But Michigan just has more sand too, all around, more sand dunes on the shoreline. You don't have so many sand dunes on the Wisconsin shoreline. So there's different vegetation that I'm not too familiar with. So I'm not, yeah, I'm not getting anything. It's a little frustrating. Just I can't get everything I want. But I mean, it's still I travel and I'll just pay attention, be aware of the surroundings. The South pretty much has nothing, absolutely nothing. Like yeah, like uh, Louisiana for sure has nothing. I don't know what you could forage out there. I don't know how the pioneers survived that. Yeah, this is pretty amazing to have this Wi-Fi. It's not too busy of a park. But yeah, I'm just having to buy everything. Stinging nettle is pretty good. I'm not seeing stinging nettle in Michigan. Yeah, I see that in Wisconsin. I haven't seen that in a while. There's definitely some poisonous plants around Michigan. It's just a lot of trees, and there's really nothing I can do with trees. Apparently, you can make sap out of the white birch. I'm still seeing white birch. I'm far enough north for that. Mulberries? No, I had not a single mulberry. I did not see any. Aren't those aren't those most common in Washington? Elderberry or no mulberries? I haven't seen any elderberries. I mean, I'm paying attention. I see apples every so often. Yeah, Illinois doesn't really offer much. Yeah, I haven't been foraging much of anything. There's all this vegetation, and it may be my uneducated problem with just not knowing. I see all kinds of vegetation, and I just don't really see anything in the vegetation. Not like I saw in Wisconsin. I spent a lot of time in just Rice Lake, Wisconsin, learning about the local vegetation and what's edible. Wild lettuce, dandelions. Oh, I did see a little bit of mullein. That's for the lungs. It'll help expel from the lung. There over by the children's playground. There's two small plants of mullein, but I wasn't gonna pick that. And I feel kind of bad about the slippery elm. I'm not seeing it as much. It's not growing against abandoned buildings like I find in Wisconsin, Minnesota, Iowa. It's like, I expect to see slippery elm all the way to the East Coast because they talked about how George Washington was eating slippery elm in Valley Forge. So I expect to see it, but it doesn't seem. I've seen it as far west as Idaho, the slippery elm, but I'm just not. And I'm seeing it in Michigan, but it just seems too sparse. It seems like it kind of needs. It's being pushed out by other vegetation, other trees. Yeah, mulberries. Yeah, I'm just not really. I'm not too not really seeing any of those small berries. They say there's blueberries all over the place in the north, but I haven't really seen that. I think it's more on private property. You don't just walk onto any property and pick this stuff. So yeah, I've been having to live out of the grocery store, not really saving money from foraging anything. Yep, that's the vegetation here. And I don't expect to, as I move south, Indiana, I don't expect to see anything. Kentucky, Tennessee, I don't expect to see anything that's forageable for me. So it's kind of yeah, it's kind of a weird situation. I've been gravitating away from food banks, gravitating away from foraging, just because I'm not really seeing what I've been looking for through the west half of the country. So yeah, that's it. Yeah, and this slingshot I got, which when the police, the deputy in Green Bay, Wisconsin, when he saw this thing in the when he saw this, he threw it on the ground immediately. I think he wanted to like say something about it. He's like, "Oh, here's evidence of something sitting in my car." All it does is sit in my car. I don't do anything with it. I don't use the slingshots. Yeah, I don't really use a shovel, but I have it. You know, it's for remote areas. I'm not in that remote of an area right now. I mean, when they provide Wi-Fi in the park, it's probably pretty busy. So, yeah, I'm not hunting for anything. I don't have any ammunition for my slingshots. I haven't really looked. I mean, if I found something, I would consider holding on to ammunition. But yeah, I have not been practicing with anything. I've just been holding on to a slingshot. That's it. Just yeah, just being a bum. I'm really spending a lot of time with the court system. I have to learn Louisiana law. I have to learn Wisconsin law. Now that I'm in Michigan, I'm spending a little bit of time learning about the compiled statutes in Michigan. And then I guess I need to prepare for Indiana and learn about their law. Learning about all this different law is taking away time from other things, okay? And I spent a number of hours today just with ChatGPT trying to get some cross-examination questions for the librarian, cross-examination for the cops. So, yeah, well, all right. Yeah, ChatGPT could make a lawsuit for me, but it's all about filing it and stuff. All the emails I've sent, every email I send to the court in Louisiana now is I just tell ChatGPT to just put some law in there to support my arguments. Whatever law, put in statutes, law, rules, court etiquette, judges' canons. Put all that in there. Put all that in my letters. All right, wherever you think it fits the best, put it in there, and then it does it, and it's kind of cool. So yeah, I could probably bring up ChatGPT on my tablet. I haven't really done that yet, so that'd be interesting. Since I have the Wi-Fi here, I got ChatGPT on the tablet here, so I have the option even. It's like pretty cool that ChatGPT has voice mode. They immediately went to putting it on tablet. I could just stick with Soul, whoever that is. Just a voice. Oh, it's just a white dot so far. That's not good. Oh, I lost it. Hello, ChatGPT. How are you? It's dialing in. It's dialing into the... It's making a weird dialing noise. I really don't have anything to talk about with ChatGPT. Yes. Start a new chat. I have a good connection, so I don't know why. I might be just waiting in line with other people.
I'm sorry to hear that you're having trouble viewing my response. Here are the improved cross-examination questions.
What?
Chapter 1, Arrival and...
Let me stop this. Alright, well, is it because... Nah, it can't be because I'm in 01 preview. Yeah, I'm I'm relying much more on ChatGPT. I don't need anybody's help now. So I have deleted all the trolls, all the people I perceive to be trolls on my cop channel. Anybody who even remotely sounds like a troll, that's it. I'm deleting them because I don't value what they have to say anymore. It's like now with ChatGPT, I can argue with the AI. I don't need to be arguing with these people. Arguing with ChatGPT doesn't make it create as much stress for me. But Louisiana is silent, and yeah, I got till the 17th before I get the arrest warrant put out for me. So that's something that's stressing me out because the judge is silent on my motions. I asked for a continuance and I asked for a free lawyer, and I even said, I told ChatGPT, write me a good demand for a free lawyer. And I mean, what I did is I gave it little like I wrote notes. I write notes, and then I say turn these notes into a letter for me, and then put the law in there. And in my notes I said the previous the harmful Judge Owsley was illegally denied me a free lawyer. And the Third Circuit Court had to overturn the case and then send it back. But they believe that the case has still got merits. So we have to go through this all over again. But I mean, I told I wrote to Judge Barber, and I'm like, don't make the same mistake as Judge Owsley. Let's not have this happen twice in my case where I'm denied my right to a free lawyer. Okay, let's do this the right way this time. So, yeah, I don't know how you could have 12 public defenders in one office. That's a lot. But yeah, I'm asking for a lawyer. I mean, I'm preparing to have to sit in trial and do it all over again myself. But I'll prepare. I'm learning what objections are. Okay, there's all kinds of objections that I missed out on, like the Rule 403 prejudice objection. It's not just simple objection irrelevant. You don't just say objection irrelevant every time. Sometimes you kind of have to give the judge a soliloquy about how you got why there's an objection involved. And you don't ever say, I forgot who told me. I get trolled a lot. I don't know what to think of that person. Somebody told me you just object and say, "Oh, I object, and I'll leave it up to the court to decide on what my objection is." And Judge Owsley was like, "Nope, that's not how it works." So I didn't know. And somebody told me to do that, and I tried it. I didn't know how it was going to work out. So that's just, that happened once, and it's not going to happen again. So you don't just object and say, "I'll leave it up to the court to decide what the objection should be." You make the argument, and it's just not a one-word objection. You say several sentences in some instances. That's what Cloyd Benjamin did. Was he had some statements to make on his objections. Let's see if nope. Oh, statements. Okay, not there. All right. Did I save them? I can't look in ChatGPT. Yeah, I might not have saved them. I know I was. Oh, yeah, because they're so complicated. These objections were just so much that I was just reading them. I wasn't even saving them. I was just gonna read through them. I was reading through all the objections that Cloyd Benjamin had for my questioning of Roslyn and the cops, and I was just reading through them because there's just a lot that was said in these objections, and I was just taking it in. I'll have to write them down. You can't just simplify objections, and you can't really simplify cross-examination either. But I got like 100 questions. I'm gonna make 100 questions for each of the cops. This is assuming I'll even get to that trial part. I'll be ready for the trial. I'll be ready for the trial with cross-examination questions. And that's all preconceived. That's all ready to go. The hard part is dealing with the objections. Clay Benjamin loves to make objections, and Judge Ousley loves to sustain them. And since I'm just getting another city judge to replace a city judge with Barber, I expect the same sort of nonsense to happen. And I'll need to be a little bit more prepared. I know lay the foundation means I'm understanding objections better, but I need to practice them objections more. There's just, it seems like maybe the theme for objections is about prejudice. That's kind of what I'm gathering from that. It's a lot to do with inflaming what Clay Benjamin has done at trial number 1 was inflame the court. He did that in a lot of ways through his leading the witnesses and just asking loaded questions.
It sounds like you're concerned that some of the cross-examination questions might be the legal.
I seem to be getting denied a lot on my... Okay, so this ChatGPT, maybe it doesn't... It has the bars, though. I think those are the bars. Aren't these the bars for... Yeah, because... Okay, hello.
You're welcome. If you need further help with anything else...
Okay, yeah, that's just not it. Maybe it isn't available for tablets. It isn't for tablet, the ChatGPT. It's got the bars, though. I don't have any other phones that are readily available. So, yeah, I'm dealing with that. Yeah, and it's like it's a lot of work to go down to sheriff's offices and ask questions. And I don't know if I really need to ask any does Dano need to be deleted? I'll do this for now. So let's see. Yeah, that's what made up today mostly, is just spending time on the legal stuff, cooking, a little bit of exercise. I gotta say, I'm really, if there weren't so many people around, man, I've really been enjoying certain kind of exercises. Oh, all right. You want to talk? You learning about Puff Daddy's situation? Yeah, there's sounds like a long history going on with that guy. So yeah, I guess I was just testing this out. There's somebody in Washington. I don't think I ever stopped in Wenatchee, Washington. That's I don't even know where that is. Can't even think of where it's at. And I'm moving south through Michigan and going to Grand Rapids. With my Wisconsin case, it's just all right, I think I got a CD waiting for me in Grand Rapids at a post office right now, and it's for a court hearing number 2. Should be sitting in a post office right now, because I told Richard to mail it general delivery. And Grand Rapids has a Best Buy, so Grand Rapids is big. Any city that's got a Best Buy is a big city. So it's not going to be easy to get to. I think it's in the center of the dang city, of all the places. And on top of that, what makes it even worse? You've been to Grand Rapids, Gene? How do you like Grand Rapids? I got another CD coming in from the cops, but that hasn't even been sent yet. And it's supposed to go to Grand Rapids, and I can't really tell this police chief a different address to send it to. First of all, I don't want to confuse her because she is dragging her feet. She's dragging her knees on providing me with the evidence. She's dragging her knees. And it's one step at a time. I don't think I'm going to even get all the evidence before November with Wisconsin, with the West Milwaukee case. And so then I'll ask for another continuance and a dismissal too. I'll ask for that if they're going to take forever on just providing simple body cam. And I guess I should do a subpoena for that. But I mean, I got issues with West Milwaukee, Wisconsin, issues with Natchitoches, Louisiana. Two very different law structures I gotta be familiar with. Simply because I'm defending myself. One's what's up to 6 months in jail in Louisiana, and the other is $600 fine, and which can turn into jail if you don't pay in Wisconsin. So I'm trying to get everything in order, and there's new evidence I'm asking for from Louisiana, which there's no response for that. I guess I should do another public records request for that. I need to know why the cops lost their jobs. Put that in as part of the the questioning. There's things to work on. There's not much light going on here, is there now? I've lost all my lights. Still lit outside there. Well, I guess yeah, it's just if I didn't have these court cases, I wouldn't have these court cases if I just served the time in jail and then pay the $600. Then I'd be relieved of their pressure. But I'm not pleading guilty. That's it. I'm not going to plead guilty, so I'm going to go through the process of defending myself. But it's not easy. I mean, it's like West Milwaukee says I could do everything by Zoom. We're doing everything electronically. But Louisiana, I got to do it all in person. So I guess it would make sense to just to get down to Louisiana, and then I could take care of West Milwaukee from Natchitoches, you'd think, but also I've got a lifetime ban from the library in Natchitoches, so I really can't power up any batteries or use the Wi-Fi very easily. I know I can sit up on top of the hill across the street from the library, but it's still going to be difficult. They'll probably still try to report me if they even see me in sight of the library. So and I even mentioned that in my motion for like a free lawyer or the continuance. I said, I got a lifetime ban from the library. That makes things a lot more difficult to do my research. So they've made things difficult over there, and then you got hurricanes. That's a problem. So I'm not in a rush to just jump down south, especially during hurricane season while it's hot. It's hot enough up here still. I sweated today. It's hot. And to run down south by October 17th, it's just, and I have to sleep in my car still. It's just not possible. It's crazy. And I was not a part of any of the discussion about appointments. My former lawyer kept waiving my presence. And he can only do so much. I think he made a smart decision in leaving the case. Maybe that could open up a chance for another continuance, a little bit more of a delay so I have more time to get down there. So I can't rush for, in 2 weeks now. How many miles would I have to cover from, say, Grand Rapids? And then I'm waiting on like potential mail from the police chief of the body cams. And these fools, they use Axon 4. So Axon 4, I think, is even more, as Axon body cameras become more advanced, they're becoming more reliant on online services. And yet, even though they bought the latest body cams, Axon 4, that's one of the cops told me in West Milwaukee. In West Milwaukee, Wisconsin, they use Axon 4 body cameras, and yet they still use CDs to burn their body camera videos on. They don't use any of the services. Well, Kentucky, no problem. Kentucky's using the Axon links. And I think another one too I've experienced, just in my personal experience. Seeing the last premiere, he played audio from the lady. Oh, that was the cop channel. Yeah. I just replayed the Roslyn's library video, but it was just a picture of the police room. And then I cleaned up the audio by just with AI on the DaVinci Resolve. I can't do any editing on the video itself, but I can rip the audio and just take a screenshot of the picture of a picture of the video and just do that. And then I can make a podcast out of it with Notebook LM to learn more about it. It's all a part of the learning process. Learning a lot about laws that I really don't care to learn, especially when I'm not in that state. And after all that I went through in Louisiana, I don't ever want to return to that state. Who wants to go back to such a horrible state? They don't really treat people good, and you hear every year how much worse and worse they get. With that new 25-foot law that's in effect, so they can arrest you recording. If you're caught recording within 25 feet of a cop, you can get arrested. That's really pushing the limits of your rights, but that's what the lawmakers are doing down there because they're comfortable doing it and getting federal tax money. I mean, I remember there was a time back in 1994, maybe five, probably five, maybe four, probably five. There was a point where Louisiana got denied road money for all their highways, and that was because they allowed the drinking age to remain at 18. They were the last state to raise the drinking age from 18 to 21. And they had to be forced to do that by the federal government withholding money to repair their roads. So after that happened, then I don't know, some lawmaker made a bill to update that, make the age go up from 18 to 21. So it takes outside pressure. But I mean, yeah, Louisiana pressures its own people as well, and they just kind of, I guess they're asking for it. I mean, why would it be happening if the people weren't asking for it? They're asking for all information to be considered privileged down there, whereas in other states it would be considered open records and public. Basic information like police policies that people don't think anything of. They just share them with the public in other states. It's privileged information down there in Louisiana. Let's see. They close the 25-foot law so they can. Yeah, I had 3 cameras up. The 25-foot law was overturned. What? When did that happen? Because there was no news reports about that. Well, I can't just ask ChatGPT, can I? Nah, that's gonna fail. Well, I'll have to look at it later. The 25-foot law. Well, they continue to make harder laws against people all the time. And there'll probably be laws against AI, I'm sure, in some way. So I'm totally reliant on AI for my defense. Who needs extra lawyers if you could just tell ChatGPT your problems, feed in some of the evidence that they want to use against you, and then ask it to draft a motion to dismiss or I don't know, motion to suppress evidence, something. You kind of have to know what you're doing a little bit. AI isn't gonna take over completely yet. But yeah, AI is just it's just getting better. Just paying attention to what's going on. I make sure to watch all the videos I can about the latest AI stuff. How video to video is improving, picture to video, words to video, and then just the basic reasonings. And I mean, ChatGPT isn't always on top. Some other one comes up and takes the top spot for a little bit, and they're always in competition. You know, Claude and Google Gemini. And I can say I used Google. I used Google Bard before it became Gemini. That was a really early version, less than a year ago, though I guess. So yeah, just gotta. I'm just focusing on law and legal stuff. It's like it seems it's so essential to know your rights. I mean, I've already gotten harassed a little bit in Michigan by cops. Just a little bit, just enough to make me concerned and on the defense. And I'm sure Indiana just gets worse. It gets worse as you move south. And as I also have to make a pathway in some way to Louisiana to pretty much turn myself in. I plan on just turning myself in the upper northeast corner, whatever the first city is there. There's no way I'm gonna drive all the way through Louisiana to get to Natchitoches to turn myself in. There's just no way. Because when I had the problem in Williston, North Dakota, I got an arrest warrant for me, and that was in Williston on the far west portion. And I turned myself in the Grand, whatever that Grand city is. And they said they would have taken me. They would have put me in jail right on the spot. But since COVID was still in effect, they had policies on COVID. They just told me to take care of it as best I could. So during COVID, they were not taking people in North Dakota at least. Louisiana, I don't think cared. But I asked one cop that, my new set of questions. Have you ever just told somebody to just take care of their warrants instead of take them to jail? And I think all cops were in that position where they told people to just take care of their warrants and not take them to jail because of COVID, a an extreme procedure to take. What happened in Idaho? Who made the wanted posters for me? Yeah, that was in Idaho City. So that was in the mountains north of Boise, about 40 miles. And I was there during a fire that apparently was practically surrounding the whole town. That town was where they had the camp set up for the firefighters. The hot shots is what they called them. And they set up camp around there. And I bicycled around that camp before they put up the signs telling us not to trespass. But they were setting up in the early stages, and I decided to bicycle around it and record the tents and all that. I thought it looked pretty neat. And they were looking for somebody to serve food And I applied. I was like, hell, heck, I could serve food, but they didn't hire me. I don't know who they hired. I had to spend a month there waiting because I didn't have anywhere else to go. I was waiting for the next court date, hanging out in boring Idaho City, and the locals didn't like that I was waiting there. They didn't like that. I was trying to just wait the time, like sitting in jail, but an open air jail waiting on a court date. And I had a lawyer at that time, and he wrote a motion to dismiss, which ultimately it led to the case being a motion to suppress evidence, which led to the case being dismissed. So that's been like one of the first experiences of having a case dismissed, and I've just been relying on that a lot. Looking back at that case or suppressing evidence, but that doesn't work in every state. They all have different ways of doing things. So that's it. Just every state's different, and I've been having to learn a lot of different laws from different states, and it's just ridiculous. It's not like I have to learn probates or torts, real estate law. I don't have to learn all kinds of crazy civil law. Well, actually, I guess they're considering it civil law in Wisconsin. If you get arrested for loitering, it's a civil infraction. So it's kind of civil law, but I couldn't do any I couldn't question the cops outside of my trial, whatever they call that. Interrogatories. You know, I'm allowed to do interrogatories in Louisiana. I was thinking about submitting the library with interrogatories for Roslyn. And then I guess the police, because I mean ChatGPT can write those up in a snap. Interrogatories, write interrogatories based on her testimonies, and then just send it to the library. I should do that. I should do that with the cops too. I've been thinking about that. There's little things. I'm just jumping around back and forth, just looking at all kinds of stuff. The DOI guy is taking stuff off, taking like a discount. Yeah, so I guess I don't really have anything else to say. It's getting late, and since it's getting dark, I think well, this park closes at 10. There's no gates though. They say the police patrol is supposed to be a deterrent enough. Some parks have gates. This one doesn't. Very few of our parks have Wi-Fi though, but the past two parks now I've had Wi-Fi. It's been really impressive. Well, no, the electricity was locked up. I was supposed to check that. I would have plugged in if I could have at a shelter. So I guess remember the mouse in my car? Creepy trick. Yeah, I had a mouse in Wisconsin. Somebody put the mouse in my car. And then I've had moments where I thought there were mice in my car and the banging. But I got nets over the holes that I've created on the bottom of my car now. The mouse. I did have a red squirrel that snuck into my car and stole my bread. That was weird. Where was that? That was just west of Eau Claire, Wisconsin, at the castle on the hill. Elk Mound, Wisconsin. I had a red squirrel. And they make the war cry. You know they're around because they have a war cry. I've heard them around Michigan, so they do pretty good around Wisconsin and Michigan, but nowhere else. I've never heard that cry. I've never seen as many chipmunks as I have as in Wisconsin and Michigan. Not anywhere else. Different kinds. More of the ground squirrels. The chipmunks, climbing around the woods and the trees and all that. This is their territory. But, when you get more into the plains further west, then those animals learn to those varmints learn to dig holes more instead of climb trees. It's interesting interesting change in the types of creatures that you see across the landscape. And that's what keeps my curiosity up. I'm so curious. I want to see what's in Indiana. I haven't really seen it. I've never been in it. I've never really been through Michigan, and it's neat to see. It's neat to explore around. I mean, to have surprises like this, like Wi-Fi in the park, is pretty incredible. And okay, I can see it's getting pretty dark now. Just relying on streetlight at this point. I gotta find somewhere to go and hang out for the rest of the evening. So I think I'm gonna just stop this here. This was just a test anyway. So I'm gonna stop this.